Hey guys, so I've had a bunch of inquiries about how I make my time lapses on my Instagram. So I've decided that I'd make a video on how I do that. And so basically you're going to need some form of DSLR camera, and you can either buy like a thing that plugs into the side, and it's a got the name, but you just need to buy some form of intervalometer that can plug into your camera, what type of camera you have. Or if you have a Canon camera, you can actually install a program called Magic Lantern. Some of you might be scared to install this. I've had zero problems. It's a perfect program for me, and you simply just press the bin button and look through the settings till you find intervalometer and set the settings you want for your intervalometer, and that's pretty much what you need to do for the time-lapse side. Or if you don't have an option of a DSLR camera, you can actually just go into Go Movie on anything really that can be stable, really, that can be nice and stable. It's going to need to be on a tripod, otherwise the video is not going to turn out very nicely. So on the video, if you want to get a 15-second segment for Instagram, you're going to need to film for 20 minutes if you're going to do the video. Or if you have an intervalometer, a good setting would be the settings I use for all my videos is I use a picture every 3 seconds, start after 3 seconds so you don't get any shake, and do 400 shots, which is equivalent to 15 seconds at 30 frames per second. And that way you can get the correct length for what you want to do in your video. If you do have a DSLR settings, you need to do it on manual. You can't do it in auto, or you get some flickering of light and it doesn't look very good. And you need to set it to S2, which is 1080p. Otherwise, if you just leave it, you're going to get 4K quality and you're just going to shrink it anyway, so there's no point in doing it. Plus you get a bunch more space if you do it that way in S2. And I've got the memory cards pretty much full anyway already, and I still get 2,000 photos on S2. And so depending on what you're going to do on the video, or if you're doing DSLR, the DSLR will look better, and it'll be easier to process. So once you've got your tripod nice and secure, you need your tripod to be nice and sturdy, can't move, loosened up, tightened up really tight. And then if you have an intervalometer, you can set it on there. If you have a Canon camera, you can actually get a laptop and download the EOS software, and you can set a timer. I'll make another video on how to do it that way soon, and upload that on how to do it, but that has a minimum of 5 seconds, so you can't do 3 seconds interval, which is my preferred. So I just use Magic Lantern because it's portable and everything, but otherwise you need a laptop with you. But if you don't want to install Magic Lantern, then yeah, but it's pretty simple to install. Just go on YouTube and search it, and they'll tell you how to do it. It's nice and easy to install, it's not a hard thing to do. You can turn your simple DSLR into a pretty powerful camera for photography. And so I'll give you a little shot of how it works. So I'll go ahead and set up my intervalometer to my settings, and turn it on. And when you turn it on, you just press the shutter button halfway down, not fully. And before you do your time lapse, I'll just may as well start it, and you get a little thing in the corner there, tells you how many you've taken. 1 second. It's not going to focus. Oh well, oh, it is. I just got to be patient. Basically it just tells you how many photos you've taken, how much remaining, kind of thing. And it's just going to sit here and take photos until you've set your timer to stop, or you can just set it to infinite and it'll just take photos forever until you tell it to stop by pressing the play button. That causes it to stop. I think I'm doing this time lapse in black and white because I feel like it. I don't know why. I've just put on a simple kit lens because that's more likely what you have. You want it for every lens anyway. You're going to need to put it on manual focus, otherwise it's going to be changing the focus. And you'll want your stabilizer on so that it's nice and stable for your time lapse. You can put it on whatever frame you want for the zoom. It doesn't really matter. The kit lens that came with my camera is actually pretty good. It's my only kind of wide angle. I only really got zooms that are good, L-glass. And you just sit and just wait for it to take the photos. So right now it's done 33, but it depends how you do your, how long you want to have it for, because the longer the interval, the quicker like the time, like if you think about it as a video, it'll be sped up and it'll be faster. But the longer your interval, the more kind of faster it will be. But the shorter your interval, the quicker it will take the time lapse, but the clouds won't be moving very fast and it doesn't look good. So my ideal would be 3 seconds. If you can't go down to 3 seconds, go the lowest you possibly can. So maybe 5, if that's the lowest your intervalometer lets you go. Don't really go below 3. Try to get 3, that's the best. You can do some really cool nighttime photography time lapses, like kind of like a star time lapse. And what I did for one is I had a 30-second exposure and 35-second interval, so it has at least 5 seconds, you know, save the photo. And so you have that bit of time, and it turns out looking really awesome because the stars don't move too fast, so that 35-second interval doesn't matter really. And the only problem is I have a battery grip which gives me the makes the battery last long enough. It's most likely not gonna last long enough if you just if you're doing long exposures. The amount you're going to be doing will drain your battery a lot. Just normal time lapses like this, you can get. I've done 10 time lapses with 400 shots on one battery on here, so it doesn't drain your battery really. What does those long exposure time lapses? They do drain your battery a lot. So yes, I will make a video on how to use the EOS utility for time lapses, and so this is how I do my time lapses with Magic Lantern. You can Google Magic Lantern. It's only a Canon software. You can film your video for 20 minutes and speed it up until it fits 15-second time frame. If you make a time lapse, just use hashtag #photography_Daniel, and I'll check your time lapse out, give some feedback back, and enjoy it. It should be good time lapses. You should see popping up around. The next video will be how to use the EOS utility. If you can't use any of that stuff, as I said, you can use your video, or if you have like a cable release kind of thing, and you set the intervalometer on that will work as well. But my favourite is the Magic Lantern, which I suggest install because it has so many features you can use. And so just watch the time lapse after the time lapse I'm doing right now. I'll display for a few seconds after this video. It's only going to be short. If you want to do a few segments in like I did summary one, if you already have your time lapses, but if you want to, I did one once and I did 100 photos of each kind of scene at one place, so that way you get 4 shots into a 15-second video, and it actually looks really good. I I did a river one a couple of months ago. You can scroll through my feed if you want to look for it. So yeah, just hashtag me in your thing and I'll find it and like it and comment and give feedback. Okay, so once you have completed the time lapse, you will have to compile it together. So I'm going to show you on a Mac. I'll probably make another video on how to do it onto Windows. So I'll get right into it. So what you need to do is first you're going to need to find your photos. Should be easy to find if you just look at the time, or if you've taken many photos that day, look at the size. Check the last one in the photo sequence, and just scroll up till the first one, which is going to be most likely this one. Okay, so that's the first one, and now scroll to the last one. And what I like to do is make a folder called Time-lapse compiling. Just makes it so much easier to do. As I said, I stopped it after the video, so I didn't actually make it long. You understand? It's just going to be a quick one. So wait for them all to go in there. And there's a program that I found on the internet called Time-lapse assembler, with that little picture here, and it's absolutely a fantastic tool you can use. On Windows there's many ways to do it. I'm sure you'll be able to find a way on the internet on how to do it. So you want to choose your source, which would be in the time-lapse compiling folder, and open. And I do frame rate 30 frames per second with my settings that I told you before. If you accidentally make a mistake and forget to make it to S2, just simply press resize and scale proportionally and write 1920 there, because that's just going to make it easier later on down the processing. Whatever. And high is high enough quality, it doesn't really need to be much higher than that. And press encode and save it where you want to save it. So tutorial, and I'll put that on my desktop. Only problem with this program is that its output files are very large, and they don't need to be that large. They're just made really big. So when you put it in your video editing software, when you export it, the video is not going to be as big as this video here. That video is just kind of like a raw kind of video. It's just the combined file size of all the time-lapse pictures you used. But once your video is processed, it'll be around 20 megabytes. That's 23 megabytes is about how much I get when I do my time-lapse videos. The best bit of doing a time-lapse is actually putting in music. And I'm sure you all know how to edit your own videos. Just use iMovie, that's an easy way to do it. And that's pretty much how you make your time-lapse. You should be able to figure out how to compile it. There's many Windows softwares out there. You'll just search time-lapse compiling software, or just use program like Photoshop or After Effects. Even some video editing softwares you might have can do it. They can put it together for you in their software. You just drag all the pictures in, set the timing the correct way and speed it up, and you will get your video hopefully. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the